Relief during times of uncertainty. After confirmation, the third shift at Windsor Assembly will return. Reshaping LaSalle's landscape.
This is the biggest growth we'll see in the town.
Major changes to come following a multi-million-dollar funding boost. And lower pet care costs.
Access to care has been an issue, especially over the last 5 years. People are just struggling.
A familiar face launches a new venture.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us both on CTV Windsor and AM 800. Before our top story tonight, we have news to share with you about one of our team members, Ricardo Veneza. 2 weeks ago, while on a tour of Ontario, he was involved in a serious motorcycle crash. He is recovering in a Toronto hospital and is going to be okay, but has a long road ahead of him. Ricardo wanted to share this with our viewers. I can't say enough about the fast action of bystanders, paramedics, and doctors who rushed to my rescue following a terrible end to a fantastic trip. Thanks isn't enough for their efforts, and I hope I can repay it in some small way down the line. I have fantastic support around me from friends, family, and loved ones, the medical staff watching over me, and of course my newsroom colleagues. I'm looking forward to returning to full strength and back to the news desk in due time. Now, while Ricardo heals, you will be seeing different members of the CTV Windsor team anchoring the late newscast. We do wish Ricardo a speedy recovery and are sending him and his family our well wishes. Now to our top story. The third shift at Windsor Assembly is coming back. Stellantis has confirmed to the union it will reinstate the third shift in the first quarter of 2026. Let's go to CTV's Robert Lothian, who is standing by at the plant.
Stefanie, this news has certainly caused for excitement among workers as well as Windsor as a whole. The assembly plant has endured some turbulent times in recent months that's included shutdowns as well as rotating shifts. Today's news means more work as well as more jobs for the community just in the coming months.
It's nice to see that, people will be getting their jobs back. Nobody will be on layoff. New people and young blood will be coming into the building.
Excitement. Everybody's talking about it. So it's great. It means business is good. And we're coming back.
The shift was first scrapped in July of 2020. A spokesperson for Stellantis confirming to us they are anticipating higher demand. This includes for these Pacifica and the Dodge Charger Scat Pack and RT models. Unifor 444 is expecting the third shift to add up to 1,500 jobs to the economy. 444 President James Stewart says this was a long time in the making.
We bargained this in 2023. It's been postponed a couple of times. Obviously, the headwinds in the air. It's a lot of headwind to get around, but we managed it, and here we are today.
Stewart says there is still a lot of work to bring back the third shift, so there is no firm timeline for its return. He is, however, confident that it will again become a staple here at the Windsor Assembly Plant. Stefanie.
Exciting. Okay, Robert Lothian tonight. Thank you for this. And Stellantis is not the only one investing in our area. A $22 million commitment from the provincial government is expected to unlock opportunities in the town of LaSalle. CTV's Bob Belichico joins us now with the details. And Bob, this money will pave the way to build thousands of more homes.
Stefanie, there's going to be a whole lot of building going on here in the town of LaSalle in the upcoming years. Today's announcement allows for the building of sewers, roads. On 970 hectares here in the town, they can build housing, commercial development, and anything the town's heart desires.
The number's so big, I don't know if it's going to fit.
The province is committing $22.4 million to the Howard Bouffard Stormwater Infrastructure Project, a step needed to build more residential and commercial development in LaSalle.
We've been talking for years and years about the Howard Bouffard plan, and that's really the next area of growth for our municipality, and this opens that up for us.
The town of LaSalle has so much to offer, and I almost feel like the town's been left behind for the past 20 years because of this specific issue.
The $22 million grant is the largest in LaSalle's history, according to Mayor Crystal Malash. Once key infrastructure like stormwater management is in place, construction could begin within 3 to 5 years, paving the way for what the province estimates could be up to 10,000 new homes.
It involves over 1,000 property owners, right? They're part of that Howard-Bouffard area. But this is a really 20-year plan for the town of LaSalle. This is the biggest growth we'll see in the town.
It's the most exciting news I've ever heard since I've ever lived out here. It's going to give a huge shot in the arm to the town of LaSalle and finally get the development going that we've been waiting for so long.
The funding comes from the province's Housing Enabling Infrastructure Fund. Mayor Malash says drainage will be the primary focus in the early stages of the project. Once complete, the area is expected to welcome up to 20,000 new residents with a mix of single detached homes and multi-residential units across various price points to ensure balance. The development will also include new commercial spaces.
It's not just houses, because I know people just focus on houses. It's also going to be new schools. It's also going to be commercial. Like it is a complete community going in there.
So tonight at Council, the first tender will be awarded for infrastructure, mainly drainage here at the end of LaSalle Woods Boulevard. Stefanie, LaSalle was already moving. Today's announcement allows them to move just a little bit faster. Back over to you.
Okay, major growth there, Bob Elachico in the town of LaSalle tonight. Thank you, Bob. Now, a major project that could power cities the size of Windsor and London broke ground today. As CTV's Sean Irvin reports, the new transmission line will be a partnership between the province and local First Nations.
Community leaders and the Provincial Ministry of Energy and Mines, Stephen Lesche, stand amid a backdrop of a future portion of the St. Clair transmission line. The initial stages of the $470 million project that has created 70 jobs are already underway.
The transmission line that we are breaking ground on today is expected to bring 450 megawatts of power to the region, enough to energize a city the size of London.
Once complete in 2028, the 64-kilometer line will stretch between the Courtright area and Chatham. It is one of several line projects in southwestern Ontario the Ford government insists is vital to the economy.
That we never say no to a business or an investor that wants to create jobs and growth here in the province.
But getting to this day took communications and a new type of partnership. Multiple First Nations have been offered partial ownership.
A brilliant 50-50 equity model where Indigenous leaders and First Nation leaders are leading the way, owning the projects on their territories.
So we look forward to the future in this relationship that we form here today.
It's about being able to participate meaningfully in the economic future of Ontario so that we can provide for the next 7 generations.
But while this project has support, there is still concern about the future.
There's been learnings all along the way, and nothing is ever perfect. And as other lines get built in the future, we'll apply some of those learnings.
The sod turning comes at a time when Lambton County sits on a short list of larger power projects, including the potential of a nuclear facility. The minister said Tuesday the process is ongoing as it looks to meet a 75% increase in demand for power by 2050. In St. Clair Township, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
That power also allows Windsor to move ahead with Phase 2 of its airport employment lands plan. The goal is to unlock 93 hectares of land near the Windsor Airport, making it shovel-ready for more industrial development and investment. The city had success in Phase 1, attracting companies like Mint. The city's manager of land development and growth tells AM 800 the zoning doesn't really support it right now, but the city is working to change that. Joe Baker says there's a growing need for industrial land, and Windsor is being proactive, making more airport land available. The proposal will eventually go before City Council and formal planning and approval. A local hospital is cutting wait times by being more efficient by training their staff and by creating a whole new unit. Join me tonight with the second part in her exclusive look at Erie Shores Healthcare is CTV's Michelle Molesky tonight. Michelle.
Stefanie, we told you last night about extra training ER docs have volunteered to do and how a set block of time is earmarked in diagnostic imaging just for ER patients. Tonight, we want to share details about a special new unit that's getting patients admitted faster and sending them home more effectively.
Empty beds are a rarity in any Ontario ER. It's frustrating for sick patients. It's frustrating for doctors.
At times, we're sitting waiting for someone to be brought in, but because we're bedlocked, it can be very difficult because we want to have the right space to assess an individual, and a bed is the appropriate space.
So Erie Shores Healthcare started to track what they call idle bedtime. How long is a bed in use when it's not the right use?
The ADU has definitely helped getting the inpatients where they needed to be, which helps to free up the acute care beds.
The admission and discharge unit has its own wing. If an ER patient needs to have more care and is being admitted to the hospital, they come here to wait for an inpatient bed.
There is an admission discharge nurse that's there. She completes all the admission paperwork.
Meanwhile, back in the ER, staff are already cleaning the ER room to make way for another waiting patient.
This helps to kind of create that flow so that we can get those waiting room patients in to be seen by the provider faster.
And then once the inpatient is ready to go home, they return back to the ADU.
Even when patients get discharged, sometimes you're waiting for transportation or family that can take 5 or 6 hours.
Patients can wait here instead of waiting for a doctor to come back with final instructions.
The same nurse, the admission discharge nurse, will do all the patient education, go over the medication reconciliation, and provide any health teaching that is required before the patient leaves.
And once again, housekeeping is already hard at work, getting the inpatient bed cleaned and ready for another person.
ADU is about $2.8 million to run the program.
Officials say it's paying off.
Where we're able to improve that up to 6 hours by looking at those real-time metrics. And when we can do that, we can move someone efficiently up to the floor, and now that gives me an extra bed to assess someone in a timely fashion down here.
To put it another way, Erie Shores' idle bedtime has dropped by 6 hours.
It's about creating a safe space for them to get the care that they need in the time that they need it.
The final piece to all of this is outpatient care. The hospital is working with a nurse practitioner-led clinic in Kingsville to take on any outpatients who aren't attached to a family doctor. The ADU staff will connect those people with follow-up care that they need in the community. Stephanie?
Good to know. Okay, Michelle Mlesky, thank you for this tonight. So here is our question. Would you pay more in taxes to reduce wait times at hospitals? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if someone charged with dangerous driving should lose their license until they go to trial. Almost 700 people voted. 86% say yes, they should. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for our first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight, where Gary, mainly clear skies tonight.
Mainly clear sky throughout the evening, overnight into tomorrow morning. It has been a sunny day. It has been a little bit more hazy over the last couple of hours, but sunshine is the dominant feature. And it looks like the ridge of high pressure is keeping any showers, any particular storm activity to the north and east of us. Meanwhile, we are clear of precipitation. No radar returns or hits showing rainfall across the region. So what does that mean? Well, a quiet night, a quiet overnight, morning, tomorrow, sunny, and it looks like that stretch of sunny, warm, and warmer than seasonal weather will continue through to the weekend. I'll break down what you need to know on all fronts. That's just ahead. For now, I'll send it back inside to you at the desk.
Okay, thank you, Gary. So back to more comfortable summer conditions this week, coming off what was a summer that saw some intense heat across the entire region. According to data at one Southwestern Ontario weather station, it was the hottest summer in 70 years. With more on that, here's Kara's map.
Cooler temperatures are now upon us, but for the bulk of summer, many struggle to beat the heat. And now we know why.
I don't think people have to be told that it was a very warm summer here in the region. In fact, it was the warmest summer since 1955. And of course, we're talking about meteorological summer, which goes for June, July, and August.
The hottest summer in 70 years, and the fourth hottest summer that the E.D. Soulis weather station at the University of Waterloo has recorded since 1914. Fall doesn't officially begin until September 22nd, but experts continue to reflect on the intense heat.
We saw 34 days over 30 degrees Celsius when, on average, typical summer, we only see 11. So you see, we saw 3 times more days above 30. And put all that together, and it was about 1.5 degrees above the average temperature for those 3 months.
The summer's high was 35 degrees on June 24th, marking the third highest reported temperature in the weather station's 25-year history. And none of that data includes humidex values.
The problem is it's harder to get the long-term humidity going back many, many years. So it makes it harder to get those records going back that long for the humidex, whereas temperature, we do actually have some solid records for it.
Air conditioning specialists say they also noticed the hotter season, leading to a busier year than usual.
It wasn't just busy 1 week, off for 2, busy a couple days. There was a sense of urgency pretty much all year, and it maintained consistency.
A mix of new unit installations and everyday calls for service.
A lot of people in a frantic, panic state. Stuff stopped working. It's 35 degrees outside. You really can't maintain comfort in your home when it's that hot.
Looking ahead, though, weather experts say the intense heat is not a precursor of what's to come.
Certainly going to the winter, that's going to depend a lot on weather patterns and an El Nino and a whole bunch of other global patterns. So much too early to talk about the winter.
Kara Smapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
Warren 6 Councillor Joanne Geniak officially steps into the role of acting mayor today as Drew Dilkens undergoes surgery for prostate cancer.
This is nothing new for me, and I'm pleased to be able to do it. We just want him back as quickly as possible.
Geniak has been on Windsor City Council since 2003 and has filled in for the mayor before. She says council learned of the diagnosis at the same time as the public, and she's ready to lead while Dilkens recovers. While he does, she'll oversee mayoral duties, chair council meetings, and represent the city at official events. She adds the mayor is optimistic and she expects he'll be back in the office soon.
Procedures are different for everybody. But I do know Drew Dilkens, and I do know that he will want to be back as quickly as possible. And quite frankly, I've said to him, you've got to take care of yourself and make sure that you've healed properly.
A familiar face in local animal welfare has launched a new venture looking to lower pet care costs for owners. CTV's Travis Fortnum caught up with the former executive director of the Humane Society, Melanie Coulter, at her new clinic.
Veterinary care doesn't come cheap, and for many pet owners, even routine visits can be tough to manage. That's the gap a new non-profit clinic in Windsor is trying to fill. It's co-founded by Melanie Coulter, now head of operations here.
We started talking about it a while ago and realized that this was something that our community needed and that we knew we could provide.
Coulter spent nearly 2 decades leading the Windsor-Essex Humane Society before being abruptly ousted last year. She says the new clinic is a way to continue the work she's dedicated her career to.
Access to care has been an issue, especially over the last 5 years. People are just struggling.
Here, the focus is on affordable spay and neuter, microchipping, nail trims, and even end-of-life care. Services Coulter says are often the hardest to find at a fair price.
This isn't something that I expected to be doing, but it does feel very natural. It feels like we're providing services that we know we need. It's great because our entire team is formerly Humane Society employees, so we're all really dedicated to animal welfare.
That includes Kayla Beetham, a veterinarian who also worked at the Humane Society before joining Coulter in this new venture.
A lot of this comes from what we see from being at the Humane Society and really in the community as a whole. What we hear from people that they want to do the right thing, they want to get their pet fixed, but they don't have that ability or that access.
The team hopes this clinic can make that care more accessible and says there's still room to grow.
Hopefully in the future we'll be able to expand further.
Explosions in Qatar as Israel targets Hamas leaders. The fallout still ahead on Windsor's news leader. Home building slows as costs climb and buyers vanish. When we return, what's behind the delays, and could Mark Carney have a plan to turn it all around? Tomorrow, Unifor rallies in support of locked-out workers at Titan Tool. What the union hopes to accomplish, that's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. As Israeli strikes target Hamas leaders in Qatar today, the group's top figures gathered to consider a U.S. ceasefire proposal in the Gaza Strip. Massive explosions rocked Doha, Israel calling it an assault against the senior leadership of Hamas. Now, this is not the first time Israel has gone after the masterminds behind the October 7th massacre. CTV's Adrian Gabriel on the extraordinary strike and the potential consequences.
Smoke paints the sky black on a dark day in Doha.
It certainly is an escalation of this war.
The deadly daylight air assault is believed to be Israel's first ever inside Qatar. This Hamas residence, now left with a gaping crater in the capital, is said to have been the target, just as the latest ceasefire proposal was being considered. Hamas says that 5 of its members were assassinated in the attack, including the son of exiled chief Halil al-Hayya. Though al-Hayya, seen here, who is believed to be the prime target, has survived, according to Hamas.
These are the same terrorists who planned, terrorist chiefs who planned, launched, and celebrated the horrific massacres of October 7th.
As Israel's prime minister took responsibility, the attack is sending shockwaves across the international community.
I condemn this flagrant violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Qatar.
Britain's prime minister saying the priority must be an immediate ceasefire, the release of hostages, and a huge surge in aid into Gaza. In Israel, the families of hostages believe today's airstrikes may have sealed the fate of their loved ones.
Crushes the hopes of all of the families. It's just, it's devastating.
There were several days ago warnings from the Israeli Defense Forces Chief of Staff that Israel was going to start targeting Hamas's leaders no matter where in the world they might be.
Israel's air assault in Doha comes after Hamas's armed wing claimed responsibility for shooting and killing 6 people on Monday at this bus stop in the outskirts of Jerusalem. The latest escalation comes as Israel issued an evacuation order today for residents in Gaza City, with the IDF sharing its intentions for a full-scale operation. The military maneuver reportedly involved 15 Israeli fighter jets firing 10 separate airstrikes on one single target. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Mark Carney has been teasing an announcement on housing in the next few days. New numbers show housing starts are at their lowest level in nearly 30 years in one particular area. CTV's Mike Couture shows us what the key issues are.
The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says slowdowns in Vancouver and Toronto weighed on the overall number of housing starts, and there is a concern it could affect housing supply in the future. Home building in Toronto fell to its lowest level on a per capita basis since 1996. According to a report from Canada's National Housing Agency, Vancouver also saw a drop in housing starts compared to the first half of last year.
There's this slowdown in activity that will potentially recreate kind of those issues in terms of pressures on prices, pressures on rents.
The CMHC says pre-construction sales are slumping by double digits in Toronto, which is forcing developers to delay project launches in a city that is in desperate need of new homes.
The cost of construction has gone up drastically, and the number of people that are out there looking to buy has gone down again drastically as well.
A near record pace of apartment construction in Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, and Halifax helped offset the sluggish numbers in Vancouver and Toronto. Developers believe cities could see even more growth without municipal development charges, which help pay for roads and sewers.
We need to be able to reduce that for, even if it means just completely eliminating it for a good period of time so that our industry can pick up.
Red tape is another complaint, which Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre would reduce with a suite of measures.
Get rid of the sales tax, cut the development charges in half, speed up the permits,
zero tax on reinvested gains.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Housing Minister Gregor Robertson said the government is going to build homes at a pace and scale not seen in generations, pointing to a yet-to-be-announced program called Build Canada Homes. However, there are still no details on the measures the Liberals intend to implement. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
A familiar and meaningful sight is back in Riverside.
As you drive or walk down Wyandotte Street and see all these great men and women watching over us who gave of themselves for our freedom and way of life, it is truly heartwarming.
48 banners honoring local men and women who served in the military now hang proudly along Wyandotte Street East. Each banner showcases a veteran's name, photo, and service detail. This marks the 4th year of the campaign, a joint effort by the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 255, the Old Riverside BIA, and Enwin Utilities. A ceremony this morning marked the occasion, celebrating the community's ongoing tribute to its heroes.
This year, my husband and I sponsored a banner in honor of his grandfather, who passed away many years ago. Seeing his photo displayed has been such a powerful reminder to our family of the years he served in the military and the sacrifices he made for the betterment of this country. For our family and countless other families across the community, this project is deeply personal and truly unique.
Strength in the energy sector helped Canada's main stock index finish slightly higher. In Toronto, the TSX gained 35 points. In New York, the Dow added 196. The Nasdaq is up 81. The Canadian dollar fell 0.07 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained almost $5 an ounce. Oil is up 37 cents a barrel. It's a growing health threat you may not see coming. Coming up, why researchers are calling sepsis a public health emergency.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Jonathan Brown for this beautiful scenic image. Just ahead will sunshine and slightly warmer temperatures be in store. We'll find out next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Another day of blue skies and more sunshine is on the way. Gary joins us again for an extended look. Gary.
You're right about that. Sunshine is the dominant theme in terms of the weather story across the Great Lakes. For the lower Great Lakes, Lake Ontario due west towards Lake Erie, it has been gorgeous. And it's a beautiful drive. It's a beautiful walk. A lot of people out on the water. Lake St. Clair, Detroit River, you can expect to see more sunshine. And so don't miss out, because this week it's probably going to be one of the best weeks of the entire summer, because it's been so comfortable. Reach a high about 24, or average high about 23. We'll take it. Air quality is between a 2 and 3 right now across extreme southwestern Ontario. The lower the number on the index that goes from 1 to 10, the better the air quality. So we are in the good zone. 23 degrees, mostly, well, it's actually a mixture of sun and cloud. A bit hazy and overcast as we look west and north across the region. And 23 or 22 at this time of day is actually mild, so we're on the warm side of things. And speaking of warmth, a lot of that warmth is coming from the Canadian prairies, the U.S. Central Plains, and the upper Midwestern USA. So that's what we're tapping into. And of course, temperatures that are around the seasonal mark at this time of the year, with the humidity held in check. I mean, it's only about 45 to 55%. It's just very comfortable outside. Ridge of high pressure has kept things clear through the overnights. The wind has been quite calm of late. We're not anticipating any major shower activity. The worst case scenario is an event that will likely pass to the north and then east of us over the next 24 hours. Because the ridge is so profound and well centered over us, and it's a very intense, strong one, It looks like it will dominate for the next 3-4 days straight. We are looking at mostly clear conditions through 8, 10, and through to midnight. At midnight, 14 degrees, mostly clear. Southeasterly winds sustained at 10 kilometers per hour. A light breeze, and again, another gorgeous evening overnight into our early morning start. Sunny Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 25, 27, and 27. Then the weekend, looks like Saturday's pretty good chance of rain, mostly cloudy, 27. Then 27, 26, 22. Back into the sunshine. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Cooling off next week, but still seasonal and beautiful. That's a look at your weather, your 7-day, courtesy of Siles Heating and Cooling.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
More people are dying of sepsis, the body's extreme reaction to infection. Now, Canadian researchers say it's a public health emergency. CTV's Adrian Gobriel reports on the growing call for a national action plan.
Identifying and treating sepsis quickly with an antibiotic can be the difference between life and death.
Someone can go from being okay to really sick in a matter of minutes.
Sepsis can occur when the body's immune system is attempting to fight off an infection, which triggers a reaction that can lead to severe organ damage and even death. In 2020, a report estimated that 75,000 cases of sepsis occurred in Canada, leading to roughly 18,000 deaths each year. In recent months, CTV News has sat down with 2 husbands who each lost their wife after they gave birth in 2 separate Ontario hospitals. In both cases, the cause of death was linked to sepsis.
How do you tell your 4-year-old girls that they're never going to see mommy again? We begged for help. Sepsis is a race against time, but doctors never started the clock.
Critical care doctor Callie Barrett is one of the authors of this peer-reviewed research paper that reveals significant gaps in sepsis policies, guidelines, and health professional training standards, and outlines the urgent need for a coordinated sepsis national action plan.
Every physician completing their training in Canada needs to know what sepsis is, and presently that's not the case. My fear is that we're going to continue to have these stories in the media about tragedies where people have unnecessarily died from a potentially preventable sepsis death.
Dr. Barrett and her team are also calling on Canadians to know the signs of sepsis. If you're at home feeling unwell and are unusually drowsy, you may need to head to a hospital immediately. We reached out to both the provincial and federal health ministries. We're told they're still preparing a response. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Addiction experts are raising concerns about the increasing number of Canadian teenagers with gambling problems. As Pauline Chan reports, they want stronger regulations brought in for gambling advertisements.
About 18 months after single-event sports betting was legalized across Canada in August 2021, Dr. Sean Kelly says he began seeing adolescents, mainly boys, coming in with online gambling-related problems.
It tends to be at the lower end, 12 to 13, all the way up to their young 20s.
But the thing that really drove home how influential online gambling ads are was an incident with one of his own kids.
Asked me what the difference between plus minus and an over-under was. And that was, hearing that from a 7-year-old made me become keenly aware of who was being affected by these advertisements.
And while there are restrictions on who can participate in online betting,
just like all adult-oriented online content, keeping youth away from it has yet to be effective in certain spaces.
Dr. Kelly says the harms tend to be mostly financial, but also things like substance use, anxiety, and depression can result.
I'm very concerned that suicidal behavior may seem like a reasonable solution to a financial problem that they have caused for themselves and their families.
The Canadian Medical Association Journal says we can't wait for a rash of severe results like teen suicides before acting on the problem of teen online gambling. And they're supporting a new bill to create a framework of stronger restrictions.
Number of advertisements per segment, number of advertisements per broadcast, there's a whole bunch of different ways that this could be measured and addressed.
Bill 211 passed its second reading in the Senate in June, but the CMAJ says it's just a first step. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Domestic discovery. Did the Canada Strong Pass boost tourism? Coming up on Windsor's News Leader, we break down the results. Fall may be around the corner, but the BC government warns fire season is still very much here. More than 100 fires are burning across that province, and officials are urging people to stay vigilant. CTV's Dimitra Maragos reports.
Fires continue to burn throughout the province. As of Monday afternoon, there were more than 140 wildfires active around the province, 34% of which are considered out of control, meaning
they have the potential to spread further.
And things aren't slowing down.
Since the long weekend, we've seen a large uptick in wildfires.
With some routes still impacted as a result of the wildfires and over 1,000 BC residents affected by evacuation orders and evacuation alerts. Minister Parmar says this should be expected.
With recent above seasonal temperatures and continued lightning throughout the province, we still have more work to do. This is the new normal. Longer and more intense wildfire seasons.
Environment Canada issuing a severe thunderstorm watch for parts of southern British Columbia.
It did spread some rain, and some areas got locally 10 to 15 millimeters of rain.
However, Loney saying the rain simply wasn't enough and poses new issues.
If we have instances of dry lightning where not enough rain is falling at the same time as when the thunder shower is moving through, then you might see more fire starts.
Minister Parmar also highlighted the importance of not flying drones where there's an active wildfire, saying last week a civilian's drone actually hit a plane, causing it to be grounded. The fine for this could be up to $100,000. Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Liberal government introduced the Canada Strong Pass this summer in an effort to get Canadians to travel within the country. It is now over, and we are learning about the impact on Canadian tourism. CTV's Maria Saru reports.
Late summer on PEI, and a steady stream of people trek to Brackley Beach for a spot in the sand and a quick dip.
Going in the water?
We try to get out at least once a week, if we can, and we enjoy it.
That ritual was more affordable this year with the Canada Strong Pass. It was launched by the Mark Carney government in June and ended this week. The pass offered free admission to national parks and museums for many, discounted camping, plus lower via rail fares.
That certainly supported the people coming to the beach, and so all good.
New numbers show a 15% increase in attendance at national museums, 10% more visits at Parks Canada places, and at least 50,000 Canada Strong Pass bookings on Via Rail, with final results in the coming weeks. Tourism operators in PEI say it came at the right time.
We kind of had this perfect storm of reasons for Canadians to explore Canada.
Some Canadian travelers are boycotting trips south of the border. In June, the number of return trips from the U.S. was down nearly 29% year over year. Canadians choosing to explore here at home also boosted local businesses.
We've certainly heard from operators that there's been an increase.
Now the push is on for a strong fall season, and at this national park, the crowds keep coming, soaking up the last days of summer. Maria Saru, CTV News, Brackley Beach, Prince Edward Island.
We want to hear from you. Do you have a comment or question, an idea for a great story? Text us or send us photos and videos at 10400.
Comedian Sebastian Maniscalco is bringing his It Ain't Right tour to the Coliseum stage at Caesars Windsor, Saturday, November 22nd. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see Sebastian Maniscalco at Caesars Windsor, plus a $200 gift card.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Kick off spooky season with AM 800 and Scarehouse Windsor at the first ever AM 800 Fright Night, Friday, September the 12th. Bring a non-perishable donation for free admission. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kettner. And Melanie, you have more for us on a different Melanie.
That's right. Melanie Coulter, the former head of the Humane Society, has now helped open a non-profit vet clinic. The community veterinary clinic launched just last week, offering reduced cost spay and neuter surgeries, nail trims, microchipping, and end-of-life care. The team is still sprucing up the place, including adding a mural at the entrance by well-known local artist Dirk. One of the animals featured, well, it's a cat belonging to the clinic's own veterinarian.
That's actually Dirk's. He's an artist who's done a lot of murals around. We're really excited to see that finishing. Hopefully it'll be up soon. And then we have a couple other surprises we're going to be adding outside in addition to that. So hopefully it'll be back in a couple weeks.
We've got more details on the clinic at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we've also got a story on the website, Melanie, about a decrease in retail theft reported.
Yes, Windsor has seen a 31% drop over the last year. Police say the success is thanks to the Retail Crime Unit, a dedicated team focusing on shoplifting, repeat offenders, and organized retail crime. The specialized unit began focusing efforts on the costly and growing issue in September 2024. Since then, the unit has solved 570 shoplifting-related incidents, including 4 directly tied to organized crime groups. You can read more about their accomplishments online. And in our social spotlight, golfers in BC had some furry guests on the course. So 2 black bear cubs were frolicking and wrestling near the 18th hole at the Golden Golf Course. The cubs were about 2 years old and were born on or near the course. It seems like the golfers took a break, though, while these 2 played on, Stefanie.
Yeah, I think the break should last as long as it needs to until those little cubs go away. You don't want to risk anything at all.
Yeah, they might want to skip to the next hole.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Melanie. And that's what's happening now. And if you want to submit a video for our trending segment, you can email it to newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text us at 10400. He's 18, determined and unstoppable. When we return, how one man is chasing his Paralympic dream with the help of an MMA legend.
The spot where it all began. 89X is back. Windsor's alternative. 89X.
Gary, the leaves are changing color.
They are beautiful. Sugar maples are my favorite because they,
of course,
crimson, reds, and oranges, just gorgeous. Some of those leaves, though, were diseased, and I was doing some story work for Get Gardening with Sandy McDonald today. We were all over the place covering that. So we're going to talk about that on Friday, in fact, what to look out for. Couple of things to point out here. Yes, it is warmer than seasonal. Our average high is about 23 right now. That number is decreasing with every day by a fraction of a degree, but we will be in the mid to upper 20s for the next few days. About 25, 26, maybe even 28 through Friday afternoon, then showers Saturday, and then back to sunny weather. But the cooling trend, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, will go from 27 to 25 to 22. So it's not going to last forever.
But we'll take
enjoy it while we have it.
Okay, thank you, Gary. We leave you tonight with an inspiring tale of a young man with Paralympic dreams. He's going head-to-head against a Canadian legend of mixed martial arts. CTV's Christine Long finds out how their time together impacted both athletes.
Yes, yes, yes. He's 18 and active. William Fleury boxes, does judo and more.
De la boxe, j'ai fait du judo, puis je fais de la natation aussi. Fait du soccer, fait du ski.
Pushing past his physical limitations, which includes visual impairment, William is also learning mixed martial arts. He stepped into the cage with Georges St-Pierre, who is considered one of the best fighters in MMA history.
Je me sens impatient.
To teach him some martial art tricks that he can, use on his own.
Showing William the ropes, St-Pierre and trainer Firas Sahabi revealed their signature moves at TriStar Gym.
for fun. You know, it's a chess game. Combat sport is not only about strength, it's also about how you solve a problem. So.
C'est le champion au monde.
This session was set up by the Shine Foundation, a charitable organization that aims to improve the lives of youth living with severe physical disabilities by helping make their dream come true.
On dit toujours de William que c'est notre exemple à suivre.
William's dad says St. Pierre has always been the example to follow. On the big screen and certainly on the mat, St. Pierre is incredibly tough, but says meetings like this are win-win.
Sometimes we take health for granted, but when I meet people like him that struggle every day, you know, and makes me appreciate life, so it's good for me as well.
And it certainly inspired William to keep at his Paralympic dream. Christine Long, CTV News.
A great foundation there, and obviously memories that both sides will remember forever.
Yeah, St. Pierre, quite a hero to many, and I'm sure for that young man.
Okay, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And the two of us will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
See you then.